Hello Capricorn, welcome to your reading. Hope you're well. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to do you guys a love tarot reading today. See what you've got going on. Please take what resonates and leave what does not. It's the 28th of January 2026. So what messages in love do we have for Capricorn? Messages in love for Capricorn. Okay, we have strength. With my TV aerial. Don't ask. Strength in the upright, the Eight of Cups in the upright, Temperance in the reverse, and the Devil in the reverse. What are you walking away from, Capricorn? Something that you needed to release, that you were attached to, that was restricting you in some way, that was limiting you, holding you back in an unhealthy way, perhaps. Let me just move this over. But you're feeling strong. You're feeling determined, strong, in your power. Not quite sure what's ahead, perhaps, but you're going to keep walking because there's an imbalance here that needs to be balanced. There is something that is in its extreme, perhaps. It's unhealthy. It's knocking you off balance. And you need to come away from it in order to regain that balance, that control, that peace and harmony within yourself. So let's see what these could be about for you in depth. Start clarifying. Why is strength here for Capricorn in love? Why is strength here for Capricorn in love? We have the Four of Wands, which is a rather celebratory energy. It's also about harmony, homecoming, community, stability, success, accomplishments. It's a very happy, harmonious energy, but it's about homecoming, coming back to something familiar, coming back to people, places, family, friends that are familiar, or loved ones that are comforting, stable, familiar. I'm getting the energy of it also being about coming back to yourself. Or for others, it could be that you're attending a party, a wedding, some sort of family get-together, or you're getting together with family and friends. Why is the Eight of Cups here for Capricorn in love? The Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is about being assertive, standing up for yourself, being courageous, defending yourself against challenges, challenging people, challenging situations, standing firm, standing up for yourself. And I'm getting here that you may have made a decision. You've taken your power back in some way, and you're being assertive about something. Perhaps walking away from someone or a situation or a connection that put you in an imbalance, in an unhealthy place, and you're finally standing up for yourself, asserting yourself, taking control of a situation. It can also talk about perseverance, that you've persevered with something that was a challenge. Temperance in its reverse energy. Why is it here for Capricorn in love? The High Priestess. There's that inner intuition, inner guidance, listening to oneself. Can also talk of mystery, secrets, the unknown. Can talk about things that perhaps were unknown, or things that we were ignoring, perhaps ignoring our intuition, or perhaps something that we found out, something that was a mystery or confusing, or but it's about trusting our intuition, knowing what we have to do and doing it. The Devil in reverse energy. Why is the Devil here in reverse energy for Capricorn in love? That was 3 that slid out. I'm not going to take those. Why is the Devil here in reverse energy for Capricorn in love? The King of Wands. There's another card of message of confidence, assertiveness, taking the lead, taking control, having confidence, vision, looking ahead, making plans, putting those plans into action, thinking long-term goals, long-term plans, aspirations, how you want to go forward in the future. And perhaps this is to do with something that was or someone that was limiting you going forward into the future. And you had to balance yourself and move away from something or someone that held you back from going forward. Now you're taking the lead, being assertive, moving on, doing what needs to be done. So, the 4 of Wands. Why is the 4 of Wands here for Capricorn in love? Judgment in reverse. Now, judgment in reverse is about not making some sort of decision, or being held back, or not being awakened to something, not taking accountability for something, but not heeding the call, not waking up to something that you should be knowing, doing, being within yourself. So perhaps that is perhaps there was something that you needed to come to some sort of awakening to, but for a while you wasn't, because the Devil's there in reverse, and maybe he was once in the upright. Maybe he, you were held by something, or something that was holding you back, and you just wasn't seeing it. I mean, the High Priestess is here in the upright now, but perhaps this is something that you was ignoring. Perhaps your intuition was telling you something and you ignored it for a while. You resisted it. You you know, you didn't want to make a decision, or you were resistant to making a decision because of this unhealthy attachment that you had. You felt like it overpowered you, perhaps. Seven of Wands in the upright. Why is the Seven of Wands here for Capricorn in love? The Six of Cups in reverse. And yeah, there's that kind of restricted, held back feeling. It's holding on to the past memories, past baggage, emotional baggage, holding on to a feeling or an upset or a disappointment. Something that hurt, something that you didn't want to deal with or heal from, or, you know, walk away from, give up. Or someone that you didn't want to walk away from or give up, because you were attached to them in some way, or you had, you know, heavy feelings for them, perhaps. Why is the High Priestess here for Capricorn in love? Five of Wands in reverse. But yeah, you're feeling defeated here. Something, there's this defeat, but I don't think it's something that you walked away from easily. I think it's something that you've dealt with for a while here, or a connection you've dealt with for a while. But it's been heavy going, and you're just at the point of giving up, surrendering, giving up the fight, you know. You want peace, you want balance, you want to move on. You don't want to be stuck in any conflicted emotions, thoughts, feelings. And you definitely don't want any unhealthy attachments that hold you back or stop your growth, or just cause some sort of inner conflict, inner upset, inner chaos. Why is the King of Wands here for Capricorn in love? The Eight of Pentacles. So, perhaps you have some goals, some future goals with regards to stability, work, finance. Perhaps you need to get back to concentrating on your work, your business, your career. There's other aspects of your life that you need to concentrate on, as opposed to being attached and consumed by, or unhealthily held by, a connection or a feeling or a person, or or perhaps this is something that you invested in. You worked, you made effort, you gave your time, your emotions, your effort to. Perhaps it took your attention away from other people and areas of your life. Or perhaps you're moving forward with long-term plans and goals to make yourself, your connections, more stable. Something a bit more stable for yourself. Something more abundant. There's the Eight of Pentacles that just came out in the reverse. You were putting your effort into a connection, into a relationship, into someone, and you wasn't getting any, perhaps you weren't getting the same effort back, or you wasn't seeing any progress for all the effort that you were putting in. You were giving a lot but not receiving much, and or the other person, yeah, the other person wasn't putting in any effort, and you kind of, I'm getting the feeling that you were really attached to this, really, you put your all into this. The Seven of Wands as well. You know, you put your all, and to the point that it caused you to become off balance within yourself. Perhaps you forgot about family or friends or other aspects of your life because you were heavily attached to this person, this connection. Tell me about Judgment in reverse. Why is it here for Capricorn in love? There's the Five of Wands. Again, challenge, conflict. It was, yeah, there was some sort of, I'm feeling more, I'm not getting more, it was a conflict within the connection or the relationship or arguing or anything like that. But I'm getting more, it caused a conflict and a battle within yourself. Or it was just something that was ongoing, that was just, you know, it took a lot of your effort, took a lot from you. Six of Cups. Why is the Six of Cups here in reverse energy for Capricorn in love? Four of Pentacles in reverse. Perhaps you are, yeah, holding on too tightly, heavily attached. Heavily attached. Consumed, heavily attached. I mean, the Four of Pentacles in reverse can also talk about greed, materialism, really holding on to something, really, you know, not letting something go. And I think perhaps this, you didn't want to let this go. You were really holding on tightly, really, you know, but it just caused a conflict within yourself. You were forgetting yourself because you were so held on to this and conflicted by this and perhaps controlled by this, consumed by it. It just wasn't healthy. It wasn't healthy. Five of Wands in reverse energy. Why is it here for Capricorn in love? The High Priestess in reverse. Like I said earlier, perhaps there was something or someone, a connection, that for a while you ignored your intuition on something, or you are still. I'm not sure at what stage of the process you're in. I'm just reading the energy as I'm seeing it, but there is something that you are ignoring or resisting or have been. You resonate as it, you'll know how it resonates, so I'll just keep going as I'm accustomed to. But yeah, there was something here that you didn't want to let go of. Someone you didn't want to let go of, a connection you didn't want to let go of. And you were holding on so tightly that you kind of possibly ignored the warning signs, ignored the wake-up call, didn't want to hear it, didn't want to acknowledge it, certainly didn't want to change it. Or you wasn't seeing something clearly, you wasn't, you know. Five of Wands. Why is the Five of Wands here for Capricorn in love? The Hanged Man in reverse, yeah. More restrictive, limiting energy. Fear of giving this up, perhaps because you felt you were sacrificing, or you will sacrifice something that you'll lose out on, or you didn't want to change. You didn't want to change. You didn't want to let go of it. You didn't want to... It was restricting you. It was keeping you held in fear, in conflict within yourself, within your gut instincts. You weren't listening to yourself. You wasn't choosing yourself. You wasn't doing what was right for you. Four of Pentacles in reverse energy. Why is it here for Capricorn in love? The Knight of Wands. So perhaps this was a rather passionate connection, affair, or an quite impulsive. Obviously, I keep looking over there at the devil. I mean, the devil is the dark side of ourselves, the shadow side of ourselves. What consumes us, what holds us, what tempts us, you know, things that we kind of know we shouldn't be doing. I don't know, overspending when we haven't got the money to, overeating when we know we should be watching what we eat, having, you know, a whole bottle of wine instead of just having 1 or 2 glasses out of it. Mind you, nowadays 2 glasses is a bottle of wine. But you know what I mean. You get the gist of what I'm trying to say. There was a temptation here. Whatever that was. Whether that was, I don't know, the temptation of the physical aspect of something. I don't know. But it was something that... it was just something. Or perhaps this is you taking action, getting fired up, getting that spark of inner strength, inner power back, wanting to move on, wanting to grow, wanting to live your life, not wanting to be, you know, held on so tightly by something that it stops your inner glow, your inner passion, your inner fire for yourself. It's all well and good to be fired up about someone, yeah, but you should also be fired up about yourself. Don't burn your fire out over, you know, don't burn yourself out in... Don't leave yourself empty because you're so attached and consumed by someone else that you leave your own fire burnt with no flame to rekindle, no spark to light. King of Swords. Just flipped out. King of Swords. Yeah. That is, and there you go. Don't lose control over yourself through passions, emotions. Be the King of Swords. Stop this nonsense. King of Wands, King of Swords. Discipline, truth, vision, goals, forward motion, long-term plans and goals. Taking your heart and emotions and temptations and everything else that's conflicted out of this and thinking with your head. Clarity, truth, discipline. Having some order, some structure. Getting a control of yourself or a connection or a situation that has gotten out of hand. What is the High Priestess here in reverse energy? The Capricorn in love. The Emperor. See what I mean? There you go. Now you've got the King of Wands, the Emperor and the King of Swords. So I guess this nonsense is about to become sensible again. There's the assertion. There's you putting your foot down. There's you taking back your power. Creating some order, some structure. And going, hang on a minute. No, 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 no. This is not how it's going to be. I am the leader in my life. I make the decisions in my life. that are good for me. I won't be overruled, I won't be overrun, and I certainly won't have my power taken from me. Because if you haven't got your inner power and your inner strength and that inner spark, like the Knight of Wands, for yourself, then what have you got? Eight of Pentacles in reverse energy. Why is it here for Capricorn in love? Five of Swords in reverse. So this could have been something that went round in circles, or it was a bit on and off, up and down. Perhaps there was a reconciliation or two along the way. You know, perseverance. There's that perseverance, and you tried. You put effort in. The Eight of Pentacles. You worked towards this. It's not something that you didn't try to make healthy and balanced. But I've got a feeling that this is possibly quite a long, ongoing connection, situation, conflict. King of Swords. Why is he here for Capricorn in love? Magician in reverse. Magician in reverse talks about, well, self-doubt, feeling defeated. I can't do this anymore. Magician in reverse can also talk about someone that hasn't got your best interests at heart, or you think or feel that someone hasn't got your best interests at heart. Not, you know, saying evil, but feeling somewhat manipulated, deceived. Perhaps someone that says something or presents something that's not the complete truth, or they're, I don't want to go too deep, but, or something that's illusion. Someone that perhaps talks the talk but doesn't walk the walk. Someone that says things are going to change but they don't. Tell me about the Magician in reverse. Why is the Magician in reverse here for Capricorn in love? Two of Swords in reverse. So there is some sort of indecision here, or there has been some sort of indecision that needs to be made, some sort of choice, but someone's been worried about making a choice here, making a decision. Someone's been held, restricted, held back. Someone's sort of been frozen in fear and indecision. Feeling like there was no right way to turn. Or no right decision to be made, one way or the other. The Hanged Man in reverse energy. Why is he here for Capricorn? There's that Knight of Wands again. So this is either you getting all fired up to make a decision, or this was a heavy, you know, a heavily physical, casual, up and down, non-committal, almost karmic connection. But I'm getting more that this is the energy of you, along with that Emperor, King of Wands, King of Swords. This is you getting fired up. I'm out of here. I'm gone. This is, no, I've seen enough here. I've got things to do, adventures to go on, life to live. Or someone here was a little bit impulsive, or, you know, there was a, yeah, this heavy devil, impulsive Knight of Wands, casual, physical, kind of sexual element to this. But one cannot be fulfilled by desires alone. You need a little bit more stability than that. Knight of Wands. Why is he here for Capricorn in love? That one, flip there you go. Yeah, Nine of Cups in reverse energy. What did I just say? One cannot be fulfilled fully from desire alone. And there's the Nine of Cups in reverse. The physical or the heated moments, yeah, they were great, but it wasn't enough to sustain. There wasn't, come on, you know, we can't be at it 24 hours a day, can we? Let's be blunt about it. Who's got the energy for that? But too much of anything gets boring after a while, doesn't it? You've got to have other interests and ways to connect and, you know, take a walk, go for a lunch, go see a film, go dancing, you know, whatever it is. But in reality, passion does not stabilize a relationship. That's an addition. It's something that keeps the fire burning, yeah, it's something that keeps the spark sparking, but there's got to be more to it than that. So yeah, it was leaving you, and there's strength in reverse. It was taking you were consumed perhaps by this physical, something that was very tempting, very alluring, it was the devil, you know, something that presented itself to you in a very alluring, tempting way. But it didn't completely make you happy or fulfilled. Six of Wands just flipped out in the upright. But you was getting attention, and you enjoyed the attention, or you're enjoying the attention. Or you want a bit more attention from this. You want, you know, yeah, the attention of attraction and passion, and yeah, it's great. But what else are you going to recognise me for? Am I not good for anything else other than a roll around the sheets, you know? Is my value only contained in the bedroom? Does it not, you know, there's more to me than getting down to it. Emperor. Tell me about the Emperor for Capricorn in love. Ten of Cups. You're going after your ultimate emotional fulfillment. Or you know, there's someone in the energy here that they believe this is their ultimate emotional fulfillment, Ten of Cups, and there's the illusion that the High Priestess and what was the other, and the Magician, yeah. Someone is possibly being held here on the illusion that this will be a Ten of Cups. And it might be, I'm not saying it won't be, but I'm just trying to pick up the energy and the messages as I'm going along here. It's a, you know, it's a collective reading, so the energies that I'm picking up might be for one but not for all, and might resonate with one person on some level, but you know what I mean. This is where you, the viewer, use your discernment, use your intuition. Five of Swords in reverse energy. The Hermit. Doing some soul searching, looking within, trying to listen to that inner guidance, or you have listened, or you were trying to find a light in a dark place and figure it all out, and perhaps you're about to, or you have, or you're not quite there yet. I'm not sure. I'm going to just, yeah, I'm going to bring this reading to a close. I'm going to pick one off the top of each deck. And I'm just going to pull some. Five of Wands, Five of Cups, Page of Swords in reverse, Two of Swords, King of Cups in reverse, feelings all over the place, Five of Cups, the Hierophant, the Moon, the Ace of Wands, Page of Swords again, all talk, no action, no communication. Nine of Swords, more fear, worry and anxiety. The Sun in reverse, more unhappiness. Two of Swords, King of Cups, someone's up and down in their feelings. Ace of Wands, yeah, we've gathered that there's some sort of passion, spark and fire, or there's some sort of passionate new adventure beginning for yourself. You're reared up, you're ready to go, you want to, you know, is this going to progress? The Hierophant, is someone married? You know, or are you looking for some sort of spiritual guidance here, or is someone very different to you? Do they hold some sort of very deep knitted, deep seated, deep rooted traditional thought patterns and beliefs? This is something that's gone round in circles, I'm getting. And so, yeah, you're either releasing this and walking away, or you're still thinking about walking away, or it's still going round in circles. I don't know that, because that's, you know that. I'm just reading the energy as it is. So it will be this way until it changes, or until a decision's made, or I keep getting the same readings. So perhaps this is what the energy, this is about letting go, going forward. What needs to end, what needs to begin, what needs to be rebirthed, and what needs to be left dead. So that's your reading, Capricorn. I hope it resonated, I hope it helped, I hope you found some helpful guidance here. At the end of the day, this is only a guidance, and what will happen and what won't happen and what will be and what won't be, that is solely down to you and the universe's plan for you. So yeah, good luck, best wishes, take care, lots of love. Till next time. Bye bye, Cappy.